I assumed I would find my husband in my 20s and be married by 30 and having kids and all that, and I'm 32 and I'm just not. But I also have viewed being in my 30s and having dated such an empowering position to be in, because you are so much more established, you're so much more clear on what it is you want, and there's so much less room for the feeling like someone is vetting you. Like, no, it's actually the other way around.
For so much of my life, I would find myself in these relationships and it was almost like I didn't have a choice. To your point, being in my 30s, being established, having this life experience, also having like a lot of sobriety under my belt and a lot of self-awareness around like who I am and why I am the way that I am and all of that, I'm like armed with this information. It's no longer about like, am I good enough for this person? It's like, is this what I want? How do I feel when I'm with this person? I do have a choice. Yeah, it's not about them.
Why don't you tell the camera what the f you just said to me? What does my hair look like?
It looks just a little staticky. Just a little. You still look great. You look amazing. It would never stop someone from being like, she's a smoke show, but I know you know me, and it's just a little staticky.
At least when the relationship comes to an end, you'll have a really good understanding of what he means by him having to constantly walk on eggshells with you, because you'll be able to go back and review this video. Because here you are trying to shame this man online, you're recording it, you're editing it, you're posting it, trying to make him seem like the bad guy because he's pointing out something that you're obviously insecure about.
And let me ask you this, what prompted that?
Just looking at your hair.
Nice.
Like what prompted me saying it looks staticky?
Yes.
Because it's sticking up.
That man deserves an apology, because he sat there and he continued to answer the questions in a very logical manner without losing his cool at all. He is too used to this.
In every relationship, there will be tough conversations. Conversations that make you and your partner uncomfortable. But if your partner constantly avoids these conversations by asking you for space, leaving you in the dark to grapple with your emotions alone. If your partner says, we'll discuss the issue when I'm ready, right? Dismissing the urgency of how you feel, that is unfair. Relationships are a two-way street. And if your partner leaves you hanging every time an issue arises, that undermines the point of being in a relationship where two people are supposed to resolve issues together.
I had a guy over just to cuddle. Like, I was like, hey, want to come over and only cuddle? And for some reason, he agreed to this. I was like, you're getting nothing else. I just want to be held. And I have to say, it was like the best sleepover ever.
Ladies, trust me when I tell you that men get just as much out of this as you do. They love to cuddle because most men absolutely love physical touch. They need that to feel loved. And that does not just include being intimate with you. I bet you anything this man had some of the greatest sleep of his life.
Fellas, if you meet a girl and you get her number and you ask to take her out on a date and she asking for you to pay to get her nails, toes, lashes done and pay for a babysitter, leave her alone. She begging. She gonna keep begging. If you go out to the club and you meet a girl and she asking for you to pay for her food and drinks and her friends' food and drinks, she begging. Leave her alone. Lady, stop going out with no money. Okay? You going out on an empty stomach? You goofy. What's wrong with y'all?
You want to know something that most women aren't ready to hear? Modern feminism is chivalry.
I don't think they care.
Modern feminism has shifted from seeking equality to promoting superiority and resentment towards men, framing men as oppressors rather than partners and equals. With the birth of modern feminism, there came the birth of the girl boss, I don't need a man. Chivalry was never meant to make women look weak. It was made to create a culture of mutual respect where men acted honorably towards women and acknowledged their virtue and grace. Yes. Modern feminism, by demanding sameness instead of equality, has blurred those lines. In trying to erase gender differences, it's erased the gestures that celebrate them. The result of this is now we have an entire generation of men who are not willing to honor, pursue, or protect women. We have this entire generation of men who just want to hook up on the first date, who have no respect for women, who don't hold open the door, who don't buy flowers, and it is because of modern feminism. Not only that, but it is also a result of weak men. There's a reason that our grandparents have the cutest love stories where the men pursued the women and they didn't have until they were married, and they respected and honored each other. And now we are seeing the result of the crash and burn of modern feminism. And unfortunately, it is affecting a lot of women looking for life partners and a lot of men looking for life partners. Feminism is great. The idea of feminism is great to promote equality, but it has evolved into something that is toxic and dangerous to our society.
I can tell you how men and women can't be equal. If you are to look at force in society, who would you say has the monopoly on force, men or women?
I feel like things are set up for men.
Can you indicate a time in history ever, in the history of all of mankind, where men didn't have the monopoly on force?
Always. They're
physical
always stronger
force.
than
Yeah.
us.
Oh, then yeah.
So the question, when we come down to rights, is who can enforce rights? Women can't enforce their own rights. Men have to enforce women's rights. So there can never be real equality. There can never be real equality.
Literally, what the
Men
fuck?
are the fact that you feel like because you're stronger than someone or you can overpower them, you're more entitled to some sort of
hang on,
thing.
listen. Inside of your society, you have rights. Those rights need to be enforced, right? So somebody doesn't violate them. Who's the enforcement arm?
Women's rights were mostly
It
created
is
though
usually physically.
in response
What
to
do you do
men.
with criminals?
I mean, you put them in jail, but
And
like,
who does that? And then who guards them while they're in jail?
I mean, I don't want to say that because I know women security guards that are rappers in jail.
You're speaking always to the exception. You always look to the outlier. It's not that there can't be some women who are on par with some men. It's that as a monolith, men are the grantors of force, the grantors of rights, and here's how. Whenever you need criminals dealt with in society, it's men who are going to be dealing with the criminals. They're going to be putting them in the jails. They're going to be enforcing your laws. They're going to be protecting you while you sleep through the military.
But have we ever given women the opportunity
Yes.
to
See,
be in
here's
that
the amazing
place?
part. The amazing part is right now they have all that opportunity and they still can't do it.
Here is a clear warning sign that you need to stop chasing her. Let's get into it. I know that we can do it. If you needed a sign, here it is. Don't chase her. Do not chase her. Chase your purpose, chase your goals, chase your dream, chase your God. When you chase someone, try to force something with someone, turn off. Guys, read the room. Use your discernment. She is not reciprocating interest. Move on. Take this as your sign. Do not be afraid to walk away. You deserve someone's time. You are worthy. You deserve to be respected. Your time is valuable. You've got your act together. You are someone's blessing. And her not reciprocating interest is your sign that you aren't hers. I don't know who I'm talking to in this video. You deserve for someone to choose you, value you, add to your life. Remember, you'll never be good enough for the wrong person.
The greatest threat to women is men. If men as a group were inherently harmful, then there would be no men defending women from other men.
Yeah, you know,
What?
have you heard of a men get a lot of flack, but I think when it comes to acts of bravery, acts of heroism, men are very much overrepresented there. When you see some like natural disaster, you look at the flooding that happened in Texas, it's a man carrying some old grandma. It's a man going into the rushing waters and grabbing a dog, or a man saving kids, or a man saving women. You need to balance your like, men are so horrible in all these ways. What about male bravery? What about male courage? What about I don't know why you're lying. Like almost all the vast majority of acts of bravery and courage and life saving and emergency saving, it's men. Where's the gratitude there? What about just the plumbers? I mean, literally, no pun intended, would hit the fan if we didn't have people, it's almost men, who do the dirty, dangerous, gross, hazardous jobs. When it's snowstorming and there's a catastrophic breakdown in the power grid failure or utility pole collapses or whatever, it's not some 5'2" woman going out at 3 a.m. in the snow, in the rain, in the hazard. It's a man who's going to get that back on. And there's a complete lack of gratefulness for the sacrifices men make and how men really, you don't like to hear it. I get it. You don't like to hear it.
What do you rate yourself 1 through 10?
A 10.
A 10?
Of course, yeah.
Why you give yourself a 10?
I mean, come on. I'm very pretty.
What do you think people look at the most when they look at you?
I would probably my face or my chest.
Do you mind doing a 360? Now, do you think AI is going to give you a higher or a lower score?
Higher.
Higher?
Higher, yeah.
So it's going to give you a 10?
Yeah.
11?
For sure.
It gave you a 6.9.
Oh.
But you know what? I'm going to have my followers rate you in the comments.
Okay. Let them know. Look, you're at 10.
I think these modern women truly understand that You going into your 30s talking about, now I know what I want. Does it matter? You can't find a relationship. Well, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm clear on what. Don't matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody is, instead of me being vetted, I'm actually doing the vetting. No, you're both vetting each other. Modern women continue to think that this is some sort of power play. It's not. Y'all are supposed to be vetting each other. You don't have any control or power in the relationship. That's what y'all keep on doing. Y'all keep on trying to get a simp. Y'all keep on trying to find a man that's going to do whatever you want him to do. Well, I got, the balance, the power is 60-40 my way, 70-30 my way. I can pretty much do whatever I want to do if I need to, but I just let him think he's in control. No, you don't have control like that. I don't know why y'all think that y'all just out here, just like a puppet master with men. Just because a man obliges you, just because a man is generous and chivalrous, is because he's trying to be nice and show you respect like you asked for. That's why you're still single in your 30s, because you haven't figured out how to actually bring a good, decent character to the relationship. You guys are losers.
If a woman has the attitude, what do I need men for? My assignment is answer that question. So what do I need men for? I've done a lot of informal surveys. I'd ask the women, think about how many women that you know are for you. They're your friends. How many women does it take to make you feel as safe as one man you know is for you? And I've watched them, and they're thinking and thinking and thinking, and then they start to shake their heads. There is no number of women that makes a woman feel as safe as one man that she knows is for her. If a woman is leading with sexuality and bringing out take energy in men, they're either scary or she's sure she can manipulate them, but she's still not going to feel safe. Where if he's charmed and enchanted by her, which causes a man to care, you guys closely guard caring. Something else I learned from men, it's your biggest expenditure of energy. And it has this paradox. Women think men are simple. Men even say men are simple. No, not caring can feel like freedom, but not caring can turn into, I have no purpose. My life is shit. It's not for anything, right? And then men have said, when a woman needs something from me, I have a purpose.
I hear a lot about how lonely men are struggling, and that is true, but what I think is not talked about enough is this right here, what men fear about divorce and why it affects men so much. The reason men fear divorce in the modern world like this is because of the asymmetrical differences that exist between men and women in divorce. This is why nearly 8 in 10 divorces are initiated by women. Even when a woman initiates a divorce, she is more likely to keep the kids, keep the home, and she already likely has the emotional support circle from her friends and her family that she's kept alive the whole time during the marriage. But divorce for men often means they're going to see their kids less. They're going to lose the home they live in. They're going to lose half their income. They're going to lose the identity, the routine, the life they've been living for however long it's been. And this is devastating. This is a total collapse of a man's life. A man who is single or alone is often fine as long as he has enough of a social network with friends and family. But a man that is ripped from the very fabric of the home that he lives in, he's blamed for the divorce, and he's financially gutted, well, that's a different story. That's trauma. The deeper level issue is that most guys are not approaching marriage from a place of strength and sovereignty. They're coming at it from a place of need and weakness. And because of that, once that entire marriage is ripped out from under you, what do you think's going to happen? The reality is most guys today do not know how to build rich and fulfilling lives beyond a marriage or a relationship. And that is the real problem.
Women are attracted to leaders. No matter what you hear, this is true. But what does it even mean to be a leader in a relationship? A lot of modern women believe, and will have you believe, that it means basically treating your partner like a pet or a servant. But that's not what leadership is at all, is it? When I look across the table at my girlfriend and tell her that I have a plan to make $1 million next year, but that it means I'm going to have to make $0 for the next 3 months, it's not her job to look at me and go, yes, sir. It's her job to tell me that she trusts me, but she has her concerns. That she believes in me, but also believes there could be a more reasonable path. And then it's my turn to ease her concerns by exploring all paths, and then make a sound decision based off of the conversation that we had. I don't just go forth regardless of what she says. I make a decision that the team can actually get behind. And she doesn't just snap at me and call me reckless. She breathes inspiration into me and encourages me to go take an exciting risk in a way that allows her to share in the excitement. Leaders are ambitious, they're courageous, they're accountable, and the best ones will command respect by achieving success with the help of the people they're leading. So women, men are not trying to enslave you, and men, women who speak up are not necessarily combative. Women are looking for an ambitious man who's willing to take risks, and men are looking for women with an emotional compass that'll let them know if they're heading in the right direction.
More and more women are becoming childless, unmarried, and miserable. By 2030, nearly half of women aged 25 to 44 will be single and childless. And like that wasn't enough, depression will become the leading cause of disability, with women being affected at twice the rate than men. And all of this is thanks to feminism and the boss babe mentality. Listen, girls, biology does not care about your career, and your mental health doesn't either. Your ovaries have an expiration date. If you're an empowered 35-year-old and single career woman, you aren't living your best life. You're expiring while looking at frozen eggs in a cabinet full of antidepressants. This is not freedom or empowerment. This is a total mess for our whole society. And men, you need to step the up too. Stop being so weak and passive. What the happened to you? Start leading again. Become masculine and start guiding women while they're still young, because this isn't just a woman problem, it's a we problem, and you men are the leaders.
Everyone's arguing about men versus women, while the real win is happening above you. Because divided people are weak people. And right now, we are more divided than ever. Men are being demasculated. Women are being told they don't need men. The agenda that relationships are, and apparently always have been, transactional is spiraling. People are together for what they can get. Sex, money, validation, selfish reasons, and everyone is replaceable. Everything is acceptable and everyone can be everything and whatever they can be. There are no boundaries. And we're acting like all of this is just normal. I think this is exactly where capitalism and the people at the top want us. Because strong nuclear families, they don't benefit from chaos. A man who leads, provides, protects. A woman who nurtures, supports, builds their home. Two people who are committed to something bigger than themselves. That structure is strong. That structure creates discipline, loyalty, stability. And if you weaken that, you weaken everything. So what do? Push independence over unity, blur roles, reward selfishness, turn men and women against each other. Now look, everyone's defensive, everyone's trying to win or one-up each other instead of building. And we're feeding into it. Every time you treat the opposite like the enemy, every time you move from ego, hurt or revenge, you're playing your part perfectly. That is not how we were meant to live. That is not what marriage is supposed to be. And if you believe in God, then you know this isn't the design. So stop asking who's right. Stop asking who hurt you. Ask yourself, am I building something real, or am I contributing to the breakdown? Because if we don't come back together, if men don't step up and women don't meet them there, then this only goes one way, and it's not a good one.
We have made it so difficult for men to get women, and everyone, both sexes, are suffering as a result. The solution to the dating crisis is actually pretty simple, not easy, and it involves two things. 1, women need to be able to see the same men repeatedly, and 2, men need to be able to demonstrate some form of competence in front of women. The problem is, we've destroyed a lot of the places where this used to happen naturally, and the rest of the places we've mostly made it socially unacceptable to do. It's why dating apps aren't working out that well for women. They need places where they can warm up to a guy. Otherwise, they'll just swipe through and pick the tallest, richest one and call it a day and wonder why they're miserable in a couple years. And men need to be able to show off something other than just being tall and hot, which is basically all dating apps allow you to show. So if you have any other skill or ability or way to stand out, good luck. There's a reason that high school boys carry a lot of chairs at church youth group. There's a reason that a guy scoring a touchdown or doing a sick guitar solo is rarely alone later in the night. He's able to invent his attractiveness. He's able to say, hey, I'm top dog in this domain. Meanwhile, apps have narrowed the domains that you can succeed in, basically attractiveness, height, and to the degree that you can signal it wealth. But here's where my issue is. We have societally made it pretty unacceptable for men to ask women out at basically all of the places where women see men frequently and where men can demonstrate any kind of flex. Like, everyone loves Jim and Pam in the millennial generation, generation, but they actually hate office romance. And Gen Z is very much following in their footsteps. Now, there are still some environments where this is possible, but they're very much environments that you have to actively opt into. Social dancing, run clubs, volunteer work, church groups, political campaigns. And to be clear, I think these things are all good and you should opt into them, but we have to also recognize that societally, we're starting to handicap ourselves by narrowing the number of places where you can socially acceptably ask someone out, because it's gotten so narrow that now only dating apps fit the bill.
I'll be honest with you, if I go on a date with a man and we reach the door and he says, "Could I kiss you now?" Lord, me done. Me done. I was what? Like, whatever spark was there, you just literally blew the whole spark, and gone. Because, and yes, I'm probably old-fashioned, and yes, you do you, right? If you want question and answer Q&A at the door, that's your thing, but that is not my thing. And I was also saying to my dad, you know, times have changed so much, and I do understand why they needed to shift, right? But I do think that they've gone so left that you've kind of taken all of the romance out of it. And maybe, you know, I am too old, but the idea that before every move you're going to get permission, I'm sorry.
Well, sometimes they pull back.
Modern women, I don't think they know how silly they sound. And this is why a lot of men step away from dating. If the man asks you, "Would it be okay if I kiss you?" that just ruins the moment. Only because you have a mental illness. Yes would be the response, with a smile. Are you okay? Are you brain dead? Yes, absolutely. Go for it. All of those would work. Y'all read books, you watch TV, you've seen so many romantic scenes that you should be able to play it out in your head, the scenario. So if a man says, "Do you mind? Can I?" or whatever he might ask you, you can look in a certain way or have a certain look in your eye, a certain twinkle, and then, I don't know, pull your hair. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do. But communicate to him, yes, that is all right with me. Trust me, it is not going to ruin the moment. Oh, maybe I'm old-fashioned. That's not old-fashioned. That has nothing to do with being old-fashioned. That's just you wanting some part of a fantasy. When nowadays, men, there's just a study that came out. There was a study that came out that said 95% of men, there's a woman saying, well, you know, I looked at the study and it says that 95% of men were coercing women. And you know, when we changed the words from the R word or grape and SA to something coercive or whatever, just change the language, then 95% of men admitted to doing something like that, like raping a woman or forcing a woman to do something that they didn't want to do. But then when a man says, okay, in order for me to stay away from that 95%, even though there's problems with that 95%, in order for me to stay away from it, I'm going to ask, is this okay with you? And you're going to say, oh, you just ruined the whole entire thing.
All men cheat is one of the biggest lies women keep repeating to excuse their bad choices. Let's get this straight. Not all men cheat. Weak, immature men cheat, sure, but high-value men who know their worth don't need to. They stay loyal to women who respect and cherish them. The problem isn't that all men cheat. The problem is that too many women keep choosing the same type of man over and over again, then painting every man with the same brush. That is not fair. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. You attract what you tolerate. If you're constantly drawn to chaos, don't be surprised when you get burned. If your type is the one who plays games, avoids commitment, and can't lead himself, then of course you're gonna get hurt. But that is not all men. That is your pattern. And until you face that, the cycle will repeat. Stop saying all men cheat. Start asking why you keep choosing the ones who do. That's where the real healing begins. And like I've mentioned, if you are ready to break that cycle, I offer one-on-one coaching via Zoom. Message me for the link to secure your spot. And also, do you agree or disagree with the statement? Put it in the comments. Let's talk about it.
Can we talk about the fact that y'all hate most of the men that y'all raise? Can we talk about that? And the fact that the men that y'all raised never seems to date women that look or act like you? Is it because they saw the different men coming in and out the house and they were like, you know what? I know that that's what I do not want. Or is it because your standards start and end with money? You don't care about integrity, moral character, morals and values. You just care about money. and they don't like it. And not to mention how much you talk down on black men, even their fathers, right in front of them, as if they're not a black man or black up-and-coming man themselves. And it's sad because they get a front row seat to see how you act, to see how you behave, how you treat people. And it just looks like it's something that they're not interested in. And the sad part about all of this is these men use you for a barometer of what they don't want to wife. And this is why you guys are single and not wives. So maybe you guys should be a better example to your sons, and maybe they wouldn't think of you as the bottom of the barrel.
What do you think most women misunderstand about male dating frustration?
Men want to settle down. If you look at the data, the most recent data around young men, they want families still, they want marriage, they want commitment, they want legacy, they want to build something. The problem with women is that women set the standards for how other women operate. This is called intersexual competition. And with social media, with Botox, filler, eyelashes, these standards, right, to create contrast, and women will empower or position women to engage in the same types of behaviors that they deem to be empowering because they want to minimize the contrast between competition within the market. So all of that being said, women continue to present themselves in ways that do not align with male preference. Men will sleep with women who are attractive. They will engage with women that they are attracted to, but that does not mean that they will commit to the same bucket or tier of women that they lust over. Those are two very different strategies for men. And women don't understand that when men are looking for a long-term partner, they're looking for consistency, they're looking for emotional regulation, they're looking for loyalty, and they're looking for somebody that they can build a life with who has those qualities, the character traits, the morals, all of those things that are aligned with their vision. Men have a vision they want to bring to fruition. They're very purpose driven. If the partner that they have in front of them is not somebody that they deem to be somebody who could support that vision, that purpose in their life, they're not going to commit to that. And unfortunately, women don't understand what men actually want for a long-term partner. They're all trying to keep up with the Joneses of other women who are getting a lot of attention because they fit the category of short-term mating and attraction. But they're not the caliber of women that men actually want to settle down with. And the more that women push other women to engage in these types of behaviors, the less that there is for men to choose from when it comes to long-term commitments.
It's Valentine's Day and 70% of men are choosing to stay single. And I don't even blame them, and this shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Dating in this generation is so impossible, and I can talk about it for literally days. It feels like every single woman in this generation is either a gold digger or a bop or both. And so yeah, a lot of men are saying, we choose to be single, we're not gonna deal with this anymore, and I get it. I wouldn't either. That sounds awful. I just saw someone say something today about how I would rather be single than settle. And yeah, me too. I get it. That's me too. But it's crazy because you'll see women come online and be like, men are so sad and they're so single and they're so alone, but not me. I'm having a good time, just the men are having a bad time. And it's like, girl, be so serious for 2 minutes. Anyway, so happy Valentine's Day to all the singles out there. We see each other. We're right there.
Men are motivated by women. And it's like when the quality of the women has gone down so much and the contract of marriage, it's like, what incentive do men have? Like, genuinely, what incentive do men have to get married today? None. What's the average body count of a 31-year-old, which is when you're getting married? Some are coming in with kids. It's like, what incentive do men have to get married?
I feel like
that's why I say marriage in 2023, it's not marriage anymore. It's something else, because marriage is for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, for richer, for poor. It's like, you do this, you cannot leave no matter, I don't care if he cheats, I don't care, like, whatever it is, you cannot leave. But women, like, we don't have that mindset anymore. It's gone. But it's like social media, like, we are so much more susceptible to like brainwashing from social media than men are. And there's so many girls that get on their phones and they think that there's a better thing coming. So there's no good woman because every girl can have social media and a guy can come in and swoop
at any time.
Yeah. And so that's the problem, is like,
so what do we do?
Sometimes men disappear because they feel like their effort is not being reciprocated. A lot of women feel like their approach to dating is, you as a man have to prove to me you are worthy of my time, my energy, and me being more vulnerable to you. And because of what you've been through, you think that's the right way to do it. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with a man who's actually serious and he's seeing you're holding back, you got walls up, he has concerns that you're wasting his time. So now he falls off because he's like, all right, she's tripping. She's not really making any effort. But because there's still a desire there, because he still likes her, I think the comment, the like is a temperature check. Let me see how she'll respond. Let me see if I can still reignite something here. But it all stemmed from, are we actually making a mutual effort to get to know each other? Okay. So just make sure before you start throwing all kinds of accusations at the man, ask yourself, was I coming correct in this process or not?
There's also way more women on earth than there are men. So some of us gonna have to choose to not have one. There's like 3 women to each man. So that's why it's very hard for a man to be faithful. That's why usually when you meet a man, he's either fresh out of a relationship. Like, men are never really fully single. Like, and then a lot of us don't want a lot of them too. So that's even less men. Now we're choosing from the ones that are attractive, or they got a good job, or you're gonna have to choose somebody you don't really like. So that leaves even less men. So now women are competing for like these select few men, and that's why a lot of men cheat. It's so many to choose from. You always hear that like men don't have options, but at the same time, I'm always hearing like the ugliest dude ever. Like, oh, he cheated on me with like, and it's like 2 girls that are so beautiful, and it's like, how is this happening? It's happening every day because female desperation is a thing too. Like, when you've been alone for a long time and like you haven't learned how to love on yourself as a woman, sometimes you just start to accept a lot less, like just for love. That's why you gotta, when you're alone, you have to be cultivating yourself, or you're gonna go for like whatever.
When feminists say they don't need men, you ready for this? When feminists say they don't need men, 96% of construction workers are men. 95% of electricians are men. 95% of plumbers are men. 98% of carpenters are men. 94% of HVAC technicians are men. 97% of mechanics are men. 96% of welders are men. 91% of truck drivers are men. And we know what the other 90%
Damn right, Marge.
Yeah.
Large
97% of roofers are men. 95% of oil rig workers are men. 90% of machine operators are men. 85% of network engineers are men. 91% of mechanical engineers are men. 86% of civil engineers are men. 96% of firefighters are men. 85% of police officers are men. 80% of military personnel are men. 90% of pilots are men. 94% of train operators are men. 92% of forklift operators are men.
Wow.
These are some of the riskiest jobs in the world.
I feel really bad for modern women in the dating world. You've been damaged by men from your past, and now you're so damaged that you can't recognize a good man when he's right there in front of you. Here's the issue. You've dated weak men with no backbone who bore you to weak men with no emotional control who just snap at you violently and disrespect you. Or boys who don't give a and just ignore you instead of arguing, and then come back when you start chasing again. Then you have the truly good men, the ones that never snap at you and actually want to talk things out. Men with a backbone who don't punish you for bad behavior, but actually try to guide you away from it constructively and patiently. But what calculation happens in your head? He's confronting me? This is like that X. But wait, he's being calm and patient? This is like that nice guy, so I'll just argue back. Wait, why is he saying we'll talk about this later after I calm down? Is he just gonna ignore me like that toxic fuckboy? You see how this guy falls victim to your prior experiences and never gets his own fair image? Start recognizing the good men you come across and listen to them. They're emotionally intelligent, not emotional, and they're everything you've ever wanted, so start rewarding them.
And you had one woman essentially saying, you know, the young men that you raise don't want to date you or women that look like you, right? And it's, and I know it hurts modern women, but you have to take accountability and say, well, maybe I'm not up to par. Maybe these men that I'm bringing in the house, he doesn't respect. And so if he doesn't respect, because you have to understand, I can't even say as a young man, he's not gonna know, because even as a young man, sometimes even as a child, these children are picking up on stuff that you would never even think they pick up on, and say, mommy, that is a bad man. Mommy, why do you go out with him? Mommy, why do you like him? He putting his hands on you. Mommy, why do you have him in this house? He's mean to you. Mommy, why you have him in this house? He's hurting you. Oh, stay in a child's place. Go to your room. Don't come out. And as a child gets old, he's going to continue to watch that type of stuff. And first of all, he's not going to like the man. Second of all, he's going to resent you for the way that you was acting. And then it's going to come to the day. And sometimes, because young men, they want to be respectful to their mama. Because even though you're doing some weird stuff, they still love their mother, right? But y'all do some weird stuff to where when he gets older and you start trying to talk to him about, oh, get you a woman like this, do this. And that's when he's like, Mama, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? All of these men that you had in here, the way that you was acting, why would I listen to you? And as much as it stings, as much as you want to tell him to watch his mouth, he's right. Why would I listen to you when I was telling you to be careful and you didn't want to hear what I had to say? But then you trying to give me advice on which woman to watch or which women to look out for or which women to talk to. How can I trust the way that you thinking about things when the way that you've been thinking about things and the way that you've been acting is jacked up? I probably got at least 2 or 3 other half brothers and sisters out there somewhere because of the way that you move in and out of relationship.
Equal treatment for women.
Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime.
What?
Well, men generally get harsher prison sentences than women. That's not fair.
Okay. Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime.
And when playing sports and fighting. Well, men and women shouldn't play sports together because men are physically stronger than women. It's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime and playing sports and fighting.
And paying for dinners and buying drinks and getting drafted into the military and doing dirty jobs. Come on. Okay, guys, I got a better idea. Let me just 1 second.
Treat us like women. Treat us like women. Treat us like women.
Hey men, you are not competing with other men for the attention of women. You are competing with a quiet night in, or the ability to dress as you'd like without judgment. You're competing with freedom from gaslighting and lying and cheating and manipulation. You're competing with the fact that sexuality is a fluid spectrum and that women know how to treat other women better. You're competing with toys that do the job so much better than you do and last a lot longer. You're competing with freedom from toxic masculinity. You're competing with so many other things, primarily due to the fact that women no longer need you. And if you work on yourself and become someone that women want to be with, you will find that there's absolutely no competition whatsoever. And this is Bacon.
Do women create life or do women carry life?
We do both.
I mean, doesn't it take 2 people?
It does. However, if you have an island with 12 men and 1 woman, you would have a thriving society. However, if you have 12 women and 1 man, you would only have a limited society and it would not grow on from here on out. For 100 years, you would not have anything.
But don't men create more life since they can get more women pregnant?
No, because if you have 1 man and 12 women, you have a thriving society because women create the life.
We need to stick to the status quo, which is men approaching women. Women should not be approaching men. I think men have lost the plot because they love to just use their excuses of, oh, it's not worth the reward, or we're like gonna come off creepy. Like, you gotta get over that, or else you're literally gonna be single forever, and we all know that you don't want to be single forever. I also think that it's like crazy because I think sometimes men just think that like one day like a girl is just gonna like, they're gonna snap their fingers and like a girl's just gonna like end up in their house, and then like that's the girl that they're gonna get married to. And it's like, it's not that easy, and it doesn't work that way. Like, you actually have to go out and do the work. You shouldn't be pushing 30 and like still not knowing what you want for the rest of your life.
Unpopular opinion. Modern dating is broken. And while men broke a lot of it, women helped build some of it too. And before you come for me in the comments, hear me out. Every time we accept less and said nothing, we set a standard. Every time we chased someone who wasn't chasing us, we taught him it was fine. Every time we stayed in something undefined for 2 years, we showed him there were no consequences. Now, I'm not blaming women. I'm talking to women because there's a difference. The only thing you can actually control in dating is what you accept. And when you raise your standard, when you actually leave what does not deserve you, when you stop negotiating for basic respect like a hostage situation, the whole dynamic changes. Not because you changed him, but because you changed what you were available for. And that is where power eventually lives. Not in fixing him, in knowing your worth well enough to stop trying.
70% of women initiate divorce. Is it because women get to a certain age and they think they've settled? Is it because women are now making the same money or similar money or have similar jobs as men? And so they're like, we're not going to put up with this anymore. Is it because their expectations are too high? Is it because life changes, you meet somebody when you're young and you just decide, I don't want to do this anymore? Or is it because men tend to fall in love much quicker than women do? So do women just then fall out of love faster? What is it? What do you think? Listen to our latest episode. It's all about divorce and why it's initiated by women.
Only 9% of men on dating apps are not looking for commitment. 9%. Let that sink in. We've built this entire narrative around the idea that men on dating apps are not committal, that they're there for one thing. But my research says otherwise. 9% means that 91% are open to commitment. So where is this narrative coming from? Bad experiences ring really loud. One bad experience with a man can color someone's experience with the next 10. We have convinced ourselves that dating apps aren't a place for people who are serious, that it's all casual and disposable. The dating apps aren't broken, but your assumptions might be.
Women attack men when they're happy.
Women attack men when men are happy?
Mm-hmm.
So wait, why do women do that?
Because happiness and power comes together in a man's body. And the power is scary. It terrifies us. Especially if we don't feel connected to you. Because we're afraid to use it against us. So if we feel connected to you, then we're happy you're happy. If we don't, it's scary. And so we have to diminish the power. So we will attack them when they're happy. They come home, they caught a big fish or whatever it was they did. If it wasn't something that I did that gave you that feeling, then that's a problem.
Yeah, you're more excited to go out with your friends.
It's supposed to make you happy.
Men believe that women are secretly competing for their attention. This is a coping mechanism. Male attention is low value and relentless. Before we go out, we talk cues, we talk exits, we plan interruptions. There's a look that women exchange when something feels off. A man could never be privy to this, as he would have to admit that he was an aggressor, that he was unwanted. Even the so-called fridge would want this interaction. It would be unintelligent to assume that she was jealous for intervening on a dangerous situation. This may not be reflected in your Wattpad fantasy, but this is female solidarity.
Half of Gen Z men no longer actively even trying to date. They're not even trying. And so the question is, well, why is that happening for women? Women, first off, are dating older. They want more economically and emotionally viable men, and that usually means older men. In addition, when young women are lonely, they have much better social networks. They have much stronger friend networks, whereas guys become kind of lone wolves and kind of literally sequestered from everyone and everything. Half of Gen Z men.
A woman asked me, why do men come in intense and then slowly fade out? And the truth is a little uncomfortable. In the beginning, you're being observed, not just liked. He's paying attention to how you move, how available you are, and how quickly you attach. Because early on, men don't just chase, they evaluate. Once he realizes she's not going anywhere, that's when that urgency disappears. Not the attraction, the urgency. And a lot of women get the two confused. You think he lost interest. No, he lost the pressure to keep showing up at that level. Because now he knows he has access. You'll be there. You'll respond. Because now he knows that he doesn't have to do much to keep you around. And once a man feels secure in your presence, he starts revealing his baseline effort. Not the version of him that was trying to impress you, but the version that's comfortable keeping you. It feels like a switch up now, but really, you just got introduced to the real version of him. So the real question isn't why did he change? It's why am I still accepting a version of him that doesn't match the one that showed up in the beginning? Peace and love. Like and follow.
You know, even if it were true that you build yourself into somebody that women want to be with, these modern women, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, the average the average women, the women that seem to think, oh, well, I'm not dating because, no man can get to my standards or meet my standards or even come close to that. Y'all are going to be single. Y'all are going to be single. You don't make the cut. You will not make the cut. Well, I've got a toy that does so much better. You're going to have to keep on using that. You're going to have to get real acquainted with that. When Amazon Prime Day come around, when Black Friday come around, you might as well go ahead and stock up on it. You can use that however many times a day you need to. Leave one at the office, leave one in the car, leave one in every room in the house. You got a mansion, you're gonna have to stock up. I got a 6-room, 7-room, 8-room mansion. I got this many bathroom. Order one for every room. I'm talking about the kitchen. I'm talking about the laundry room, the outhouse, in the backyard. You can get creative. You're gonna need one for everyone. You are not gonna qualify for that man. When that man builds himself into what the women want, and I'm not saying he ain't gonna be toxic. I'm not saying he gonna be doing the right thing by you. But what I am saying is, once that man gets on the other side, what do you think is gonna happen? Yes, you might be making a lot of money. You might be a strong, independent woman, but he's gonna have a lot of those women in his face that want to get on his time schedule, that want to be in his world, doing the things that he wants to do, aligning with his vision, looking a lot better than you, and want a family with him. Gonna have 2 and 3 kids and keep it tight before, during, and after having kids. And some of these women be going through it in birth. Some of these women be having to take medicine, looking at different procedures just to have children in order to make a family work, and doing it all because they want him. And you think that you're going to qualify? It's going to be the same. Y'all going to remain single. You're going to be a great person, great human being, but you're not going to be enough.